All right, my name is Richard Koh. I'm the Chief Technology Officer here at Microsoft Singapore. A little bit of what I do, I represent Microsoft Technologies here in the Singapore market. So I do interact with quite a fair bit of our customers, our partners, especially with our regulators, government stakeholders, really letting them know what's Microsoft's investments and priorities when we think about technology in this age of digital transformation and how Microsoft is really empowering them to achieve more with our tools and platforms. Yeah, so in my keynote later on, what I will be covering is really looking at future-ready businesses, but through the growth potential of artificial intelligence itself. It's really a study that we have done together with IDC, and we're going to share some of that survey results on how companies can be leaders in this age of artificial intelligence. That's a very good question. Our collaboration with SG Innovate. Well, so I know Steve from a while ago, and what we do is that besides participating in their panels and sessions, I volunteer as a mentor and a coach to some of the high-tech, deep-tech startups over there as well. So it's really about the community coming together. So this is one way that Microsoft is collaborating with SG Innovate. AI for the betterment of society. Now, I'd like to bring up this one great example. What we did with our AI technology is in this app called Seeing AI, and you can download it on the iOS App Store itself. But what we did was, what we found was a restaurant here in Singapore, in Orchard, in Scape itself. A restaurant called Pop Jai was using it for its workers who have some physical disability, for them to navigate the physical environment using our Seeing AI app, which is able to use computer vision to look at, for example, order sheets or things like menus and stuff like that. So it's bringing the inclusiveness of people with some physical disability, because mind you, we have about 1 billion people living on this planet with some form of temporary or even permanent physical disability. So if we can use our technologies, especially in AI for good, that's the way to go. And I think it's not just really a question around the return on investment itself. It's if we can use this technology for good and bring more people into the fold on this digital transformation journey that the whole world is at, I think there's a betterment for the whole of society as a whole. I think this is a very good question. Actually today, our Chief Legal Counsel, Brad Smith, is releasing a new book called Tools and Weapons. And we really talk about how the private sector and the public sector, governments around the world, needs to come together to have the discussion around how technology is not only disrupting society, businesses, and communities, but really working together to update regulations, for example, to keep track with the developments in technologies, for example, with IoT, artificial intelligence, machine learning, mixed reality. So those conversations are really critical for both sides to learn some of the concerns from both sides of the organizations and be able to say, how do we make technology responsible and be accountable when it's deployed into society itself, and at the same time protect our human rights like privacy, for example. So I think that's a very crucial role that both sides needs to come together and interact a lot and collaborate on some of these new developments. I think that's a great question around a better digital world. I think in this age of cybersecurity and massive cyber attacks, we've seen all that headlines over the last couple of years itself. Microsoft is collaborating with a lot of our security partners as well as law enforcement around the world to really help with elevating not only the knowledge around cybersecurity, but also the kind of new trends in the way how we protect our people, our employees, our citizens, our organizations in this digital world. As more and more people and more organizations go digital, I think it's critical that we come together and learn about the technology and some of the evolving trends around how we better secure and protect our citizens. Well, I think this event presents a very great opportunity to share a lot with the industry itself, what people think, and really how the developments of technology is moving along. But at the same time, also asking that question around what technology, not just what technology can do, but what it really should do. I think that's that conversation, and having this broad mass of appeal as well as connections, this is always a great venue to be able to share that and have those kind of conversations.